Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Coral World Grand Prix here at the Centaur at Cheltenham Racecourse. This is round number one. It's a best of 7 frames and it's time now to meet the players. We begin on table number 2 with a 2-time ranking events winner and the 2017 World Grand Prix champion, Ryan Day and the Hawk, Barry Hawkins. And now, on table number 1, a winner of 3 ranking events, Marco Fu, and the reigning and defending Coral World Grand Prix champion and 5-time champion of the world, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Over the years, many of the great champions here at Cheltenham, the equine champions, have been stayers. This, though, is a real sprint in snooker terms. A race to 4 frames involving a couple of Green Bay's thoroughbreds. And there's none better than the man who's breaking off. Defending champions get tournaments underway traditionally, Alan, and when Ronnie O'Sullivan is the first man up, you know you're in for a pretty good event.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting, certainly first couple of frames. I'll be casting a keen eye on especially Marco. I think they do say success breeds expectation, but Marco Fu's not had a great deal of success this season. It's been lean. A player who has standing. I think we'll see this early on, but you know, in fact, best of 7 coming off, or Ronnie anyway, coming off like the Masters and that win at the UK before Christmas. That's a different proposition, best of 7. So you're just going to mind your sort of work early doors.
One thing that Fu needs to do is erase from his memory banks what happened the last time they played. It was at the Masters last year, first round at Ali Pali. O'Sullivan had 3 centuries. He whitewashed Fu 6-0 in no time, and the aggregate score was 649 points to 35. The definition of a trouncing.
He wants desperately to have a go at this red because he can't really park the cue ball down this end. He'll be leaving Ronnie a couple of possible reds, one to left middle and one to left corner, so he wants to take it on, but if he's going to do that, it looks like he's just going to have to flick a little bit right hand side on it. again, just overcooked it with the right hand side. Not left anything easy for Ronnie.
Oh.
I'll be absolutely over the moon with the shot he's played there. In the studio with Jill and the boys, but how quick Ronnie is at starting his first couple of shots. And just personification of just good touch, wasn't it, so early?
I think that's one of the traits, and there are many, that he shares with Stephen Hendry. So often Hendry sent a forceful early message.
15. $22.
I think he's just about okay.
Yeah, deep screw and glance off the red maybe. Just
23.
about held for black. Actually, the one good thing about this shot, he almost guaranteed being on a red. He's playing through the little gap just below his watch there. Well, didn't play through the gap, but once again the touch there was superb.
30.
A little soft cannon off the other red now and back in good position.
31.
This is where he's so good, O'Sullivan. He just gets a hair out of position. He's so good at recycling the cue ball. Once again, just a hair out. Be a brave man that
38.
drops this in dead weight, perhaps up for blue.
39.
Once again, back in A1 position.
The late arc on the cue ball, just avoiding the bunch.
44.
What an artist.
45.
We all know he's made 991 centuries in professional competition.
Thank you.
Has anyone
51.
counted how many 50-plus breaks he's made?
Yeah, well, he's only in 51, but that was the best shot he's played, considering it was a must-get angle on the blue. Oh, this is good too. Unlucky.
Oh.
That's
Ronnie
unfortunate.
O'Sullivan, 51. 5. Mark Ruffin.
Alan's right, you can't really legislate for something like that. The only thing I would say, the one positive, he's not left through anything easy. So it could have been worse.
Clever little safety shot that by Marco Fu, just push the red into the open. Just ask the question here of O'Sullivan. Get the cue ball back into bulk. You can see there, having to bend this cue ball. You'll be hoping here to push a red on the cushion. Not managed it, but decent cue ball.
Lots of mutual respect between these two. Fu is the ultimate snooker gentleman, tapping the table there in appreciation of what was a pretty good safety return. What a shot to nothing. Well conceived, well executed, apart from the fact he didn't pot the red, but that would have been a mere bonus. Look where the cue ball is. Well, O'Sullivan unusually is being outpaced, because on the other table, I can tell you very smartly, Ryan Day has opened with a century to take the opening frame against Barry Hawkins. When they met in the final a couple of years ago, Hawkins made 5 centuries. Day giving him a taste of his own medicine.
Seven. Eight.
No great fireworks here, Alan, but just ruthless
14.
efficiency.
Yeah, the
15.
couple of safety shots he played were superb, but they're kind of more superb in the way they were thought out, giving himself a chance of pot and safety every time. That's what you get from the modern day O'Sullivan. Full commitment and thinks his way around the table, thinks about every shot.
18. 19.
And that's why it's been sustained success this season so far. He's played 32 matches, he's won
26.
29 of them.
27.
He's always a talent to burn. Now he's got the attitude and the application to complement it.
$33. 34.
'Watching O'Sullivan never gets stale.
41.
Never gets
43.
old, as they say across the pond. Just a pleasure.
46. 50. 55. 61. 68 in the frame. Ronnie on table.
Breaks of 51, 68, some wonderful tactical stuff intermingled, and because of that he has made a flying start to his title defence. He leads Marco Fu 1-0. He just pulls clear and gallops off into the distance.
Yeah, an excellent break off. Just unfortunate for Marco, he didn't get a red just below this black spot area, so simple push the red back up table for Ronnie. Again, just, you know, sort of touching on the way Ronnie O'Sullivan sets his stall out the last, well, 6-8 years, and his application, it's just so difficult in every side of every aspect of the game, isn't it? You know, to try and create little openings, because he doesn't take on anything rash. So Marco Fu's going to have to show some patience. Just hope the chances come along. You see, even here, there's nothing over aggressive opening the pack up. Okay, keep things tight. Once again, excellent pace. Now, chance for Marco here. Has to try and just steel himself here and try and be brave and open this pack of reds up. Of course, as always, you're worried about pushing a red over either corner, but I'd like to see him play this aggressively. It's interesting to see whether he plays it thin or half ball, possibly. Yeah, he's tried to be aggressive. Good shot. Excellent. Very good. Even that shot is very clever, because it now means that Marco has no access to the green half of the table.
Back when Fu first started playing O'Sullivan, there were times when Ronnie would turn up at tournaments and not give 100% commitment in terms of his shot selections. He'd go for everything or be a little sloppy. Those days are well and truly gone, and they have been for a while now.
Yes, I was saying there, the green half of the table. Of course, that's the right half as we're looking at it. Marco will do his best to try and sneak in behind yellow or brown. But you see, he just didn't have that line. Good pace, though. This red, 2 down from the pink. Oh, good shot again. Unlucky to catch that half of the brown. Now again a chance. Half ball, figure of 8, swing the cue ball round. Might have a shot to nothing, but yeah, again he has to be brave here, especially where green and brown are a big target to get in behind. Yeah, deciding on the red on the cushion. So not easy to get in behind brown and green playing this. Probably Trying to play the cue ball up into the corner. Good shot. Very good shot indeed. Well played. Unfortunately, he's left a shot to nothing.
I think on balance, the little rub off the blue might have helped there. Took some sting out of the cue ball. Not ideal on the colour, but at least he's got the yellow on. And when he's this intense, when he's this into it, and clearly when he's this sharp, it must be absolutely demoralising for the other guy, and indeed quite intimidating.
4.
Long blue or yellow, so whatever he fancies, it's the blue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
That shot for me is always the litmus test for O'Sullivan. Doesn't miss many of them.
One.
Is that shot a telltale sign of a lack of confidence? You see, he didn't play that with any pace, did he? Was kind of more hoping to be on a red. All right, he's playing into a little area where he got a chance of being on one, but he didn't look like he played it very positively. Certainly didn't play for this red. He's lucky to be on this.
Seven.
Yeah, and that's no good at all. Black just about straight. No future in playing that even. So he might even play a safety shot. Probably just top side of straight. There you see it. Absolutely nothing doing here in terms of screwing back the cue ball. And have to try and punch this through.
Well, he did his level best. That was really well cued, actually, in terms of the pot. It went in really cleanly.
14.
Yeah, here it is again. The sort of shot that will give Marco confidence as he having to force it and to make something happen. Now, the red to right middle is the one that probably gets better position, but the pot is so missable. Awkward cueing for a right-hander. Yeah, this is tough. He's hoping to play it as something of a shot to nothing. Not good.
Marco Phil, 14.
For Marco, that was well, certainly wasn't a thrash, but just a little bit, not desperate, difficult to sort of pin a word to that shot. You know, Marco Fusa he strokes the ball around, doesn't he? It was a bit of a hard punch.
The applause you can hear is for Barry Hawkins, who's just equalised over on table 2. 1-1 with Ryan Day, who made a 72 clearance to the pink. And just a note, the winner of Hawkins Day plays the winner of this one. There's no hiding place in this tournament, Alan.
No. And Marco Fu will do well to find a hiding place for the cue ball, whichever shot he plays. He can't even, with these two reds near the right corner, he can't get in behind them. Trouble is when there's two reds near the right corner, difficult to cover both. Can't drop on it dead weight, this red on the black cushion. I think he's actually going to have to just play this thin and sort of hope he gets a good cue ball. Yeah, he's actually trying to leave the cue ball around the left middle pocket. Yeah, well thought out that, wasn't it? Now the key here, that red that's near the black, can Ronnie cover that? That's the one he wants to cover. Aside.
In times past, O'Sullivan, the youthful version, would have seen a frame like this as something of a chore. Now, increasingly, he views them as a challenge. Again, with a side applied not quite as risky as would first appear. Let me tell you, that had to be potted, especially at that pace. And Marco Fu, who's not particularly renowned for his cue power, has hit that one sweetly.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot. Let's just watch him on delivery here, Marco, and sense any tension. Yeah, well played. Good shot. Two shots there that'll give him no end of confidence.
7.
These are the little shots, they look dead easy. Alright, the pot should be. It's just so important early on here that he finishes just top side of the blue. You see the decel, and he's low.
8.
He should still get in and out alright, but like Ronnie early on in the last frame, Marco having to recycle the cue ball again. He's just not delivering. Not stroking through the ball as he normally would. That was a bit better.
13.
Yeah, and it looks like he's not on the sitter of a red, so the outside one of the two. Once again, pressure on getting good position. Oh, that's better.
14.
The head-to-head reads 16 wins for O'Sullivan, 8 wins
19.
for Fu, with 3 draws in the Premier League. But the black cloud hanging over Fu is that he's not beaten O'Sullivan since the second round of the Welsh Open in 2009. Pretty much exactly 10 years ago.
$20.
Mind you, some of his wins over O'Sullivan were notable. 10-6 in the first round of the 2003 World Championship at the Crucible, when O'Sullivan, in defeat, made a 147. And it has to be remembered that Fu has also beat O'Sullivan in a World Ranking Event final. 9-6.
26.
2007 Grand Prix.
Yeah, again,
27.
saying in the studio earlier, but I think Marco Fu takes his time to sort of grow into a match. I think in part because of his cue action, it's so static. It does take a while, Marco Fu, to just get the blood flowing and get some confidence out there.
And I think you'll agree, Alan, over the
33.
years, he's been one of those players who has a massive difference between his best and his worst. When he's struggling,
34.
he is vulnerable to missing anything. He's all at sea. But when he's playing well, you never expect him to miss. I suppose legitimately you could make that point about a lot of players, but
40.
Fu is definitely right up there. Different style, but pretty much like Tony Drago used to be.
Thank you. 41.
Yeah, a little wins. As much emotion as you ever get out of them. Tells us that top red doesn't go to right corner, so going to be busy getting on in the next red here. Must be just off straight. But how does he get close to the red? Oh, it looks almost impossible. Yeah, I couldn't get close to it, but the lead now 57, so just the red.
47.
The only thing in playing this again, well, he's got to play it, but should he miss it, you'd think Ronnie would be releasing those two reds. Big shot, this. Oh, super shot.
48.
Well played.
Consulting the scoreboard, he's 58 ahead, 51 on, so a couple of snookers needed by O'Sullivan. If the pink goes in, that is that.
Marco Fu, 48, and the frame.
Well, it's over anyway. O'Sullivan remains in his chair. A 48 break of the very highest quality. A holder not having things his own way. He's not done a great deal incorrect. But Marco Fu's 48 break there in the second frame just plants a small seed of doubt. I think that's called picking one out. Distance between the two reds judged to perfection.
Is he going into the pack? No. Again, being a kind of left-hander when he wants to be helped that shot, didn't it?
Four.
It's a clever shot too. Probably did play for a high blue, but gave it just a wee bit extra, knowing that the green was there and waiting.
Seven. Eight.
Yeah, also looking for a low black then, so change of plan. And he'll do well to get a low black off this red if and when he pots
15.
it. It's not a certainty. But
16.
about crept in, and he's managed to keep a low cue ball, so won't be going full pace here. Just try and push 4 or 5 reds into the open. Yeah, good shot.
23.
Fluency here, and also, even more so in fact, on table 2, where Barry Hawkins, via a 130 total clearance, has taken a 2-1 lead over Ryan Day. The highest break award is £5,000 in this event. Hawkins has laid down an early marker, which
27.
you would think would be beaten, but you never know.
$28.
That was a gorgeous little shot there. That might just set up the rest of this frame now. Oh, I'm a little surprised he played in the loose red that time. He's played it to perfection again, but
33.
it was a nice looking bunch to go into. You would never question O'Sullivan's shot choice, but it was a nice bunch to go in from top side of the blue. There's still work to do, because he still needs probably a couple of those reds in the bunch to win the frame at this visit.
34.
I think O'Sullivan's last positional shot from blue to red is one of the best I've ever
41.
seen that receives no applause whatsoever. It was on a sixpence.
$42.
A little puff of the cheeks, good recovery, but this is not all that good a target this time. You see, he lost the cue ball.
47.
See, it was similar in the blue a couple of shots, well, a few shots ago, wasn't it? I thought that was the time to go into them. Once again, recovery needed. Brown helps him here. Element of safety, element of position involved in it as well.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 47. One.
Oh, that's the best shot Marco Foos played today. I don't think he'll play anything better. He was out there all evening, that was a corker. 47 behind when he came to the table. One good positional shot here is could be in business. Good thing about this, he can play for a couple of reds. No, he's had a kick. That's a bad contact.
Marco Fu, 1.
Yeah, here it is again. You can just tell, yeah, the brown skidded. Just tell by Marco's reaction. A let off. Yeah, maybe more of a reprieve than anything else, but this red to left corner's not a sitter, I know that. Maybe again here the brown might help him. Depends how aggressive he wants to play this. Played it positively. Oh, excellent.
1.
And quite a friendly table to launch a counter-attack.
Eight. 9. Sixteen. 70.
Yeah, and now's the time where he's just thinking about that red on near the left middle. He might even try and finish low in this next red and try and bring it into play because of where the brown is. I think that's what his plan is here. Play the
24.
cannon, just a question of whether he wants to play it cushion first or cannon the red directly. It looks the way he's cueing at it, he's playing it cushion first. He's missed it though.
25.
Just little small things like that in matches are massive, aren't they? If he gets the cannon on the red, you see slipping round the back of it here. Get the cannon, promote it. He's probably favourite. It's again, recovery needed.
Thirty. 31.
Yeah, just checking, does the red go past the green? He wants 3 pockets. The drop on, so yeah, you see it, it does. So you'd fancy him getting in behind this red. Just depends how nice he lands on it. Oh, this is nice, this is perfect. Not perfect, but I fancy him knocking it in, and having kept the brown where it is, it's now going to come to his aid. Of course, if he pots this red, we'll have a new favourite for the frame.
$37.
I was saying earlier, Phil, about that famous final where they come back against John Higgins and sort of wiped John out,
41.
didn't it, in the end? You don't do that if you've not got character. Marco Fu's shown plenty.
43.
Well, that was Fu's last great hurrah, winning the Scottish Open in 2016. He was superb that week. His scoring was legendary.
46.
And he's a player you can never discount. Bundles of class.
$50.
So with the brown he hits the front, it means just blue and pink needed. O'Sullivan being punished for missing, surprisingly, that red to middle.
55.
As the Coral Series begins at the Coral World Grand Prix, the news here is that Marco Fu is halfway to a surprising victory. I wouldn't want to use the word shock victory for Marco Fu to beat anyone, because he's one of the game's top players over the years, but it would be surprising, and I think he would be the first to admit that. So 50% of the job done.
There, Varane. Something else actually I think about this match. Marco Fu's one of those players that Ronnie O'Sullivan really respects as a player, I think. Really rates him. He doesn't rate everyone. Marco Fu, I think. No, good red, good open red again. Saying about his character. He's also a terrific bottle, Marco Fu. And he's the kind of person you warm to. Yeah, see how positively he strikes this now that he's in about his cueing. Yeah, that was crisp. That was crisp. He's just growing into this match now, isn't he, Marco? As a referee, Ben Williams just puts the pink back on the table, nearest its own spot, towards the black spot. I can tell you a little statistic I was working out earlier on. I didn't think I'd need it. Ronnie O'Sullivan has won 37 consecutive opening matches in tournaments. The last time he lost his first match in an event was 4-3 to Michael Holt in this event back in 2016.
8.
There's no danger of going out on a limb by saying this. If Fu were to win this match,
15.
It would be undoubtedly his best victory of a subdued campaign so far.
16.
Not much to write home about. Got to the quarterfinals of the World Open in Yushan. Other than that, mediocre stuff, really.
24.
Oh, that was lovely again. Nice and crisp once again. Those little shots, you just got to strike through them properly.
31.
For a choice of 3 reds.
32.
Now, I don't think Marco's going to go into them here. Obviously get 2 reds to play on, and the flat top of the bunch is nice to go in off the blue. So he's back up for blue off this, and if he gets the right angle, he'll go into them next time round.
39.
Because of the shape of them. Remember Ronnie, that last frame? Was it a couple of frames ago? He lost the cue ball, didn't he? Going into
40.
the blue, just short of pace. He'll be disappointed with that. Yeah. A little tap in the table, didn't he, Marco? He's trying to get higher than that, so he's going to have to work off this last of the loose reds, or can he force it? No, he's going to have to go to work. But it's clear that he's trying to get back up for blue, the way he's played that.
45. $46.
That's better. That is excellent. See, this little plan was set in motion about 6 or 7 shots ago. Is this the payoff? It is.
51. $52. Okay.
Didn't quite ping the cue ball. Still on the black, but much thinner than he wanted.
Yeah, this takes a steely nerve. You see a thin cut back blind. Feels like when you play this shot, the pocket you're trying to pot the black in, almost another postcode. You just can't see it. Look at that. I don't even think he's playing the pot. I think if he's not playing it, he has to push the green safe, surely.
Marco Fu, 52.
Yeah, credit to him for being aggressive again. Now, does this red, or one of the reds, pass the black? There it is again. Completely blind, that shot, and that tells us the red will go.
1.
Yeah, lots of work to do, but what a pinch this would be.
8.
He's got previous, Alan.
9.
Snooker's ultimate predatory animal when it comes to pinching frames from well behind, with clearances quite often you wouldn't believe.
$14.
Yeah, doesn't want to push a red here under the cushion.
15.
Yeah, that'll do it. Just the wrong side of the blue, but shouldn't be a problem. Already thinking about the red on the left-hand side. Of course, being able to switch to left-handed if and when he gets that far. See how well he cues this, because he's been frozen out the
20.
last couple of frames. A little drag. Oh, played it nicely. Lost the cue ball
21.
just a fraction. Not just as low as Marco was a couple of minutes ago. You're going to have to play a little dinky little cannon. Oh, missed the cannon, but he's held the cue ball. Beautiful shot.
28. $29.
And so was that. Silky.
Yeah, I don't want to get too... I don't want to get too ambitious with the cue ball there, but what a shot that was. And the fact that he can just
36.
finish top side of this next black, well, back for blue, but
37.
what a shot that was a couple of shots ago.
Who's an arse? Even though Sullivan was looking a little
42.
concerned there. And again, the ambidextrous skills come into play. This is the crunch ball.
43.
Look at the cue ball as well. And he's going to need the pink to complete the clearance. What an effort this has been, as I was talking about the pinch earlier. What a pinch this would be.
50.
Just important he gets just straight or just off straight in the screen
52.
now. Well, he's not got that, but it's a must that he gets absolutely plumb on the brown for good position in blue and get access to that tough pink.
55.
The thing about these little situations, he never seems like he's under any pressure to complete the clearance.
59.
He's played that lovely too.
$64.
Now that, I think, just caught a finger mark right at the end, and it moved away just enough.
70.
What a magician.
77.
To be more precise, what an escapologist. Ronnie O'Sullivan producing absolute daylight robbery. 2-2, and a big smile on the Rockets' face.
That's tightened things up at the back.
2, looking increasingly good for Barry Hawkins. He leads Ryan Day 3-1 after losing the opening frame. And Hawkins in amongst the balls yet again. Tell you one department of the game that Marco Fu is far in advance of everyone else. The size of his watch, it's immense. Must weigh down the wrist. Didn't tell him it was time to put the green safe in the last frame though.
Yeah, speculative attempt at that red there, Marco, but Knew the only red he was likely to leave, the one he was playing. Ronnie pushing the red in and out of balk. I want to send it near that right corner. How much interest will Marco show in this again? Well, it looks like he can possibly play it. I think once again the only red he can maybe leave is the one he's playing. Half fancy him for this. Yep. Lost the cue ball, needs a bit of luck, and well, he's got it. He's left the red to left middle, not easy. But Ronnie can probably play for the black to left corner. Just whether he can play this a shot to nothing. Well, he may not have left the red direct, but it's quite a big pocket, especially I think if he plays the red that's nearest the blue. Yeah, staying aggressive though. This is a massive shot because you can't get away with this should you miss it. Oh, fabulous.
Well,
super shot. Yeah, fully committed. Knew he was leaving a sitter.
We always talk about Ronnie O'Sullivan's break building. It's unprecedented. But I'll tell you what, Marco Fu is no slouch in the century break making department. 490 centuries he's made. So approaching a landmark of his own. Again, Ben Williams having to put the pink closest to its own spot. In a direct line with the black. Always takes a little bit of extra time, that. Need to be precise.
Eight.
Yeah, and the good thing about this is that Marco Fu won't have to play any cannons into the bunch of reds.
13.
Enough reds in the open as he picks them off.
14.
Yeah, see the red that's just left of the pink spot, he doesn't want to play for that this time because straight in that, a black into right corner's no good from there. That could go wrong. That was a
19.
superb decision he's made there, Marco Fu. Now just top side of this black, on and off the cushion for one of the two reds to right corner. But he's made a
20.
bit of a mess of that. He won't be happy. You want it to be top side of that black. Yeah, it doesn't look like a huge mistake, but it actually is. I mean, you should still be all right. It's just a change of plan. Yeah, good recovery. You see, this red's not all that much used to him because he has to go
27.
back for blue off it. Well, he just spun across the face of the bunch for the black. Just about.
28.
But it was that shot, wasn't it? Just a few shots ago, he wanted to be top side of the black. So a complete change of plan here the last couple of shots, Marco. That's why he's just taking his time here and sort of reset his mind to what he wants to be doing with this chance. He's thinking, should I risk the cannon on the reds this time? I would say no. And a couple of loose reds to play for around the pink spot.
$35.
Oh, beautiful.
36.
Now we can get to the two key reds. The right corner. This, we can say, this is the big shot of this frame. Decent on either red. It should be frame over. Lost the cue ball.
$41.
Yes, that was heavy-handed. Hence the shake of the head. Quite a large margin of error there.
Yeah, can't help feeling that that change of plan from shots ago just affected Marco Fu.
What a performance, by the way, from Barry Hawkins, the first player into the last 16, and in considerable style. He's beaten Ryan Day 4-1, won the last 4 frames, and he finished off with a 143 total clearance. 1-3-0 and 1-4-3 from Hawkins in that match. Good stuff.
$42.
Now then, in a dictionary, under pressure shot, this would appear.
No, this is a horror story of this shot. This is nasty. Oh, what a shot that is. Yeah. Deserves everything he gets
49.
after potting that. Not renowned as a power player, that was beautiful.
$50.
Bottle, nerve, call it what you will, but what a shot that was.
You're right, Alan. Fu not synonymous with power, but the way he got into this match.
57.
The deep screw red down the side cushion in the second frame to launch his break of 48. That was excellent, but
58.
I think the black trumps it.
Yeah, just going back to that black, I'll tell you how good a shot that was. One of those
65.
shots that you probably will remember for about the next 5 years. Anytime he gets that shot again, he'll cast his mind back to the way he played it. What a shot. 65 the lead, just red colour.
66.
Very, very impressive this from Marco Fu.
Marco Fu, 66. Thank you.
Can't believe it, can you, this game at times. 66 the lead. No.
1.
Is lightning going to strike twice here? Ronnie has a similar black to left corner, just trying to steal himself, and I think he's going to get on this red, just pushing it on and off the cushion. Oh, what a shot. What a shot again. Well, if that black was good, this red's going to be,
8.
have to be equally as good, because this is thinner than it looks on screen. Oh, he's got it.
9.
The opening match of the week. It could be a final. It's been a mini gem.
$16.
No leeway when it comes to points. Has to pop the highest value
17.
colour on the table with all of the reds left. If he pots one pink, he could force a respotted black.
Yeah, that was another gem.
24.
It was a beauty. Oh, even that
25.
to be top side here. This is perfect. And he's usually brilliant at this shot, getting straight or high on the next red. Playing it as if you're almost on a maximum. Look at that, brilliant.
$32.
Snooker ain't a physical game. If he goes
33.
on and completes the clearance here, this will hurt.
$40.
Just stretching
40.
slightly too much. Hence the miss. When it was least expected. To Marco Fu's immense relief.
$2. And conceded frame, Marco Fu.
Well, well, well. Twists and turns in frame 5. It was engrossing. And what a potential result we could have in store here. Marco Fu, one frame away from reason by his standards. Slim pickings. Leads Ronnie O'Sullivan 3-2. It could so easily have been the other way around, though. O'Sullivan poised to make a 67 clearance. Missed the yellow. He was stretching, rather awkward. And Alan, are you surprised?
Yeah, one thing I've always been surprised about Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's probably the only player on the tour that doesn't use a mini butt. And we see it again, the yellow. I suppose he could have played it left-handed, but he maybe lose a wee bit of control. But say he doesn't use a mini butt, which is very unusual. I suppose the thinking behind that, not using it, why not?
6 frame, Marco Fu to break.
Easily fits inside your cue case, but yeah, normally he doesn't need it. Being able to play left-handed anyway. Marco Fu is one away from a place in the last 16.
You might have seen there, no action on table 2 at the moment. If you're just joining us, Barry Hawkins made a couple of total clearances, including a 1-4-3 to beat Ryan Day 4-1. Next up on table 2, it's the 2015 World Champion Stuart Bingham
Foul.
against Xiao Zhentong as O'Sullivan dives in off.
This is where experience comes in handy. You don't want to overhit these under pressure. Try and stroke it. Oh, beautiful. See, he didn't leather it. He didn't smash the red in. He tried to play as high up in the cue ball as possible to get the reaction, which means you don't have to hit it as hard. That's not easy to do under pressure. Superb again.
Six.
Mentioned experience.
7.
What you'll see here from Marco Fu when he's, if and when he moves round the table, it's all nice and slow. You see he's under pressure, but you see, look at the walk, nice and slow, nothing
14.
hurried. Keep the breathing under control and don't get too excited. That's what experience can do for you.
15.
Maybe it's being close to a race course because of course, back in Hong Kong, where he's from, he lives in the region of Happy Valley, which is famous for its racetrack. That works.
$22. $23.
Yeah, the fact he could play for black and pink on that shot just helped it. Also be mindful here, Marco Fu, just to try and keep up his rhythm that he's found. Sometimes it's easy in this sort of position to just try and be a wee bit too
30.
careful. On the verge of a big win.
$31.
No, he didn't strike that one well. Okay, he potted it, but it was just slightly too thick. As you, Alan, Neil and Stephen were talking about at the top of the programme, it's all about ranking points at the moment. If he can have a good run here, the Players' Championship might loom large in his thoughts. Right now, though,
86.
he's not thinking about that. He's thinking about claiming the scalp of O'Sullivan for the first time in a decade.
Yeah, the little mini tester here. It looks like the pink will go to the same pocket. How smoothly can he hit this? That wobbled in,
37.
didn't it? He'd just about be able to hold for these reds now. Playing the pink.
Ronnie O'Sullivan successfully defended many a title over the years. He's done so at the UK Championship,
43.
World Championship, Welsh Open. But this title now in jeopardy.
Marco Fu, 43.
But a glimmer of light. Just to complete that set of ranking titles retained by O'Sullivan, he's also won back-to-back China Opens. Now though, his back is against the wall.
Yeah, Ronnie's heart would have skipped a beat there, wouldn't he? Usually you miss a red like that, the cue ball doesn't go in the intended path. He just somehow managed to still find the gap, because one more mistake and he's out of this year's Grand Prix, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Again, Marco using his experience here. He knows that he doesn't want to leave Ronnie a sniff of anything if he can help it. And all the while here with that 47-point lead, he's just hoping to push a red safe. Keeping the pressure on. This is good stuff, this, from Marco Fu. Surely he's not taking this red on, is he? My goodness.
Well, loss of discipline, and in a few moments it could be loss of match.
One. Four.
Started off so well, O'Sullivan. Breaks a 51 and 68 in the opening frame. Hardly put a foot wrong. I think the turning point for me was the third frame.
Five.
He'd already made a 47 break. He missed overcut, quite a straightforward red at his level to the middle pocket. Fu cleared up with 61, and ever since then, O'Sullivan's been kicking against the wind.
Twelve. 13.
Well, in recent times, Ronnie O'Sullivan's strike rate in ITV events has been phenomenal. Now though, almost inevitably, he's going to make an immediate departure.
20.
Every credit Marco Fu then.
21.
It's been a top performance, this, by the man from Hong Kong.
$28. $29.
Marco Fu joins Mark Davis and Judd Trump as the only players to beat O'Sullivan this season. Only his fourth defeat in 33 matches.
36.
And apart from that ill-advised attempt at the red at the end of this frame, really he's not played a bad match at all, O'Sullivan, just the odd mistake here and there.
Yeah, Marco Fu's definitely been the best man
37.
tonight's match, at least.
Breaks of 48, 61, 52, 66, 43 and this have confined O'Sullivan to that chair.
44. Marco Fu, 44.
That didn't matter.
Frame
The
on the back.
World Grand Prix King is dead. Ronnie O'Sullivan goes home. He's fallen victim to Magic Marco. Marco Fu defeats Ronnie O'Sullivan by 4 frames to 2.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan's defence of his World Grand Prix title has fallen at the first hurdle. He is out. He's gone down 4-2 to Marco Fu. And Neil, Stephen, he can't have much to argue about. I mean, Marco Fu came and played well. First time he's beaten him in 10 years. He came out and looked the part.
Yeah, I think a result that nobody expected, the way both players' seasons have gone so far. Ronnie looked sharp enough in the first frame, won it in 2 visits, but from then on, I know Marco Fu missed careless shots at the end of the breaks, but from then on he was the dominant player. He was the one that was doing all the scoring, wasn't he? Really,
he was, and you can't argue with that performance. It's easy to say that he's vulnerable maybe early in the tournament, but he hasn't been like that. Ronnie doesn't lose first round matches very often. He normally comes out, and I thought he looked quite sharp at the beginning, but as the match went on, Marco played quite well, I thought. There was 1 or 2 points where it turned in his favour, but he thoroughly deserved the win.
Yeah, what went wrong for Ronnie tonight?
It's hard to put a fine point in it where it went wrong. I think Marco was just very impressive. If he was saying he was possibly low in confidence, but he looked a couple of shots early on. He looked like he wasn't striking the ball with a lot of authority. But once he got in and started to piece some shots together, make breaks, he started to hit the ball really well and looked quite confident near the end.
I think sometimes with this game you can have no expectation, and then you pot a few balls and you start to come back. We know he's a good player, but it's been quite a while, hasn't it? But he grew in confidence fairly quickly, and he probably never felt under any pressure. And he's never been frightened to beat people when the chances come. He's not one that will twitch under pressure. He's a real good player. It's nice to see him playing well again. It's been a long while.
Let's take a look at just how he built this victory.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see this. This was a miss. It wasn't an easy shot by any stretch, but it was a poor positional shot by Ronnie O'Sullivan that made him have to play that tough red. This is a shot that, OK, it looks quite simple, but it can go wrong, this shot. If you catch that brown too thick, the cue ball can stay in the bulk area and not be on the yellow. He played that really nicely. Yeah,
delicate little shot. I mean, he did play some good shots. This is just fantastic.
Shot of the match, isn't it?
I mean, it's one of them shots that if you've never played the game, you might not think that is difficult, but that is just sublime cueing, and he's doing plenty if he misses it, and there's an argument that he may not have even gone for it. That was the shot, wasn't it?
Yep, Ronnie had a chance to clear up. He needed 5 reds, 5 blacks, and I thought he might have played that left-handed there because he's so good playing with the other hand. Here you can see he's got a slight smile on his face here. This is a want out of here shot for me. He didn't have to play that shot. He was smiling when he got down to it. It was a kind of last throw of the dice, wasn't it?
He played one of those shots against Karen Wilson actually in the Champion of Champions. He played a back double, which wasn't the right shot. It was just almost a flashback to what he was like on the previous occasions, before he got his temperament together. But he can have no complaints tonight, Ronnie O'Sullivan. There were times when he looked quite good. He nearly stole 2 frames in a row. But, Marco deserved it.
Yeah, into the last 16, Marco Fu. Who else will join him? Well, coming up next, we'll